Yes, yes it is. Good morning on day 36. Successfully caught the bus out of Chama pretty early this morning. And then, I don't really know what happened, but I guess this only happens to me sometimes, but I got kind of motion sick on the ride. And so, it's taken me a little while this morning to, I don't know, to find, like for my body to find some sort of equilibrium where speaking didn't feel like an unpleasant risk. So, but I'm finally feeling better, and I'm walking through this very pretty little canyon. Today at least is supposed to be good weather, so hopefully that'll be true. I don't know if I can say that about any other day that I plan to be out here on this section. But yeah, finally feeling better, so hoping to get moving here. Well, I had to climb out of that canyon. I think I'll actually have quite a bit more climbing and ups and downs today. And suddenly it's very cactusy again. Definitely not out of the desert. Something that's been happening since the ground's been wet and it's been muddy is that when you walk, you can pick up a surprising amount of mud. I'm gonna say that's a mild case. Yeah, before you know it, your feet weigh like 3 pounds each. So I felt kind of off all day today. I think just since I started the day, all dizzy and nauseous, my body has just been like extra sensitive. I'm not really sure, because I don't know, I'm a little bit more prone to those things just with heat and exertion today, which I'm not usually. And then, you know, I have this big gas bubble in my belly. It seems to be filling my entire abdomen right now, and that's making things really uncomfortable, and just things you don't think about that will affect your hike. The gas bubble in your belly. But yeah, it's just a weird day. It's just kind of an off day for my body, it seems like. And just kind of a bummer, because this is the one day that I knew that I was gonna have not stormy weather. And so I really wanted to try and cover as many miles as possible. And it's just harder to do when you don't feel so great. You hear the frogs. And this is where the alternate that I've been on joins the official CDT. Good morning on day 37. Skies are a little gray this morning, but we knew that could be coming, so oh well. Actually, I picked up this little sweatshirt I'm wearing. It is just an extra layer that I picked up at the Family Dollar in Chama. I just wanted to have something extra, like an extra warm layer to hike in, that I wouldn't be as worried about getting wet, like my puffy, kind of protective of that. So it's actually relatively warm this morning, I would say. Camped around, I think, 9,500 feet last night, and then just a quick look at the topo map. I think I'll be staying high for at least the immediate future. I didn't investigate much further. Sometimes I'll look ahead and, like, at night, take time to look at what's next, and other nights, like last night, I just fell asleep. So. So Chama was the first resupply stop that wasn't right on the trail. Like every other town I've been able to walk in and out of. So as I've gained, elevation over the past day and I have these like vistas, I keep like mentally sort of looking out to find Chama, just, but that one's not going to happen this time. You can still see like where I've come from though. Always surprising when you pop out of a really remote spot and see people, but this is clearly a popular spot to fish. The trail actually became quite post-holy back there. I think probably it's over now and I can go back to the trail, but I so dislike that I found myself just walking through the creek, embracing wet feet, but at least being able to get somewhere. So I'm up around 10,600 feet right now, and it looks like that's probably going to be my high point, maybe for the day, at least for a while. Should be dropping down for the next several miles. Not drastically, but not quite so high. I know they're hard to see, but there are some mighty looking mountains up ahead. So it has started raining, and I'm hoping that what I've got going on here is total and complete overkill. But I got so wet the other day that I decided I would try overkill. So I still have my frog togs on, but I went ahead and put the pants on this time, and on top of that I picked up this poncho in Chama just to make extra sure that I stay dry. Well, thus far I've only got rained on just a little bit. It's just hard to know whether it's just gonna like drizzle or whether it's gonna quickly start pouring for the next 2 hours. So I guess either way I'm prepared. So we're back to this. There's some deer over here. They were actually on the trail in front of me and then decided to run, but then decided to stop and stare. Well, it has stopped raining, at least for now, which is nice. I don't know if it's for good or not. It did come down pretty steadily for a while there. I have decided to try and push for Hopewell Lake Campground tonight, which is a little further than I would probably go without like something to push for. But now I've got the idea in my head, so I'm gonna keep going for it, with the acceptance that I may get there a little after dark. Well, the sun is setting, but it's before dark, so I'm calling this a win. Well, good morning on day 38. That lake over there was home last night, and I just started walking. Got a little bit of a late start this morning, partially because I wanted to sleep in, and partially because I was kind of lollygagging, trying to let the sun dry out my tent and my shoes a little bit. It did rain some last night. I did the math, and apparently I did just shy of 30 miles yesterday. While I was hiking, I didn't actually know. I was just like, I'm just going to get to that campground. But yeah, 29.7. And it felt like it. It was such a long day. So I guess it made me feel better actually to be like, oh, okay. That was a long way. That's why it felt so long. So anyway, yeah, taking my time out of camp a little bit this morning. Do not plan on going as far today. From where I camped, it's about 39 miles to the Colorado border. And then once you get into Colorado, there's an additional 3 to get to Highway 17 or Cumbres Pass. So 42 miles for the rest of this, which could definitely be done pretty easily in 2 days. Except that I think I'm gonna be post-holing. I've heard that the last 20 miles even up to the border can be pretty rough. So I have enough food to take 3 days to do these 42 miles. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know how far I'll get today. Things are undecided, but I know I'm going north. Very, very windy. I don't know if you could really see how like tilted all the grass was over, but that was definitely like the catch you mid-step and blow you sideways gusty. It is very lightly hailing and raining. It was real threatening for a minute there, and so got all the gear out, and by the time I'm all suited up in the sweatsuit, sun's out. This elk just came flying down the hill, and now it goes back up. It came from over that ridge line over there. So much wind! This gal's got some really pretty hops. I don't know if she'll do it for us again or not. No, grazing time. Oh well. It might be too windy to do this, but I'm going to try. This is the Lower Lagunas campground. I am camped at the Upper Lagunas campground, which is up that hill. But, this is the last water, and I'm the dummy who didn't check that. So I walked all the way up the hill, set up camp, and then realized I had to come hiking back down. But that's okay, because I'm set up so much earlier than usual. I don't really know what to do with myself, so I don't actually mind walking up and down the hill. Today was only about, I think, 19.5 miles. So a lot shorter than my day yesterday, which is kind of why I did a shorter day today. My ankles are hurting a bit today. And I have run into some hikers that I haven't seen in a while, and they just caught up to me here at this campground, and so that's kind of exciting. So yeah, I'm only about 20 miles from the Colorado border. Hopefully I can cover most of that tomorrow. Just see how that post-holing goes. It wasn't bad at all today, but most of it's supposed to be ahead of me. See what we find. Well, good morning on day 39. You can see we've got some fresh something on the ground. I don't know if I would really call it snow. It's kind of just ice. It looks like Dippin' Dots ice cream. So we got some fresh Dippin' Dots ice cream on the ground this morning. This is definitely one of the colder mornings that I have had. Definitely got some numb fingers. Well, I am up on Brazos Ridge. That's one of my high points of today, around 11,000 feet. I slept at 10.5 last night. I don't believe I'll be going below 10 at all the rest of the way to Colorado. And look at those mighty Rockies. Ugh. That's a post hole. I'm not a tracks expert, but I'm guessing this is probably like a little fox that ran by here this morning. This is the first time all trail I've put on sunglasses. It's usually because I have enough things on my face and head, but snow blindness is a real thing. And it looks like I'll be staring at more snow. It's cold today. And so windy. I don't even know if you can hear me over the wind. Yeah, it's cold. I've had my heavy duty gloves on all day, and my hands are still cold. Should be able to see how that grass is just completely blown over, continuing to stay that way. I'm hiding behind this tree for a snack, but I'm gonna have to go back out there soon. Yeah, look at that. Look at that tree. Wah! All the wind. Supposedly, I am on trail. I'm thinking it's going to be pretty slow going from here on out. This is what a lot of the trails look like for the past mile. And I can't seem to stay on it, so I have moved, I believe, a little less than a mile in the past hour. So when you're feeling bad about the snow and all the post holing, it just means it's time for a snack. Up to my bum. Great. This is exhausting, let me tell you. So it's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm about 4 miles from Colorado. About 7 miles from Highway 17. I've stopped to have an early dinner, sit here in the sun a little bit. And I'm probably going to go a little further, but at the rate that I'm moving, I'm accepting that I may not get to either of those places tonight. So, that's where I'm at.
Would you like to taste one?
Yum!
Got a little toe jam in there.
Good stuff. Trying out all the shoes after a day of post holing. Well, tonight actually ended up being really fun. Set up way earlier than I normally would, but while I was at that spot having dinner, like, people started catching up with me, and so I was like, okay, well, I'll plod along with these guys. And then a whole bunch of people ended up at this camp tonight. People I hadn't seen in a while, so that was kind of fun. We had a fire, dried out our wet feet and shoes a little bit, and only about 5.5 miles to Highway 17 tomorrow, so I'm gonna try and get up bright and early, and if we're lucky, the snow will be frozen. I don't know if it's gonna get down to freezing tonight, but it's getting chilly, so anyway, hoping for less post-holing in the morning. Also, the moon is pretty. That's what I got distracted by. Good morning on day 40. 40 days in New Mexico. And now I'm just a few miles from Colorado. I'm up pretty early, and happily the ground feels fairly frozen, which is the goal. So I can hopefully just sail across the snow, not be digging my way through it. So let's go.
We made it! Perfect, guys. This is Look at it. Mangled by barbed wire sign.
Appropriate.
Extremely appropriate.
Yeah, alright, so she's got, I'm going to get one that's a double, and then she's got 2 other
First
units.
viewpoint,
So,
Colorado. Woohoo!